How long gone back in this bitch? A nice chilly Sunday here in New York. Them jeans. How you doing?
It's a little chilly here as well. It was actually raining last night, full rain dump, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. Carolyn was out at Bar Secco.
Oh, great.
Having some olives. What? Shout out to Bar Secco. She said she has some nice crudas.
Oh, I'm sure it was great to stand on the street and eat olives with people in Acne Studios, but that's just that's a regular Saturday night over in Silver Lake, baby.
Yeah, I was thinking it was funny because that little block of Silver Lake, the Sunset Junction, sort of known as the epitome, like that is the ground zero, the Bedford Ave of LA or whatever. And the thought of kind of having this alfresco dining where there's chic people and flowers and chore coats and iPads and things like that going on, it is just so different from, because like that very same block right where it is, maybe the only alfresco would be like drinking a kale coconut smoothie while chain smoking parliaments and you're like waiting for your perky to kick in. There was never like, have you dined with us before happening on that block. It was more of like, watch out, this guy, he just shit his pants. And right here, so if you can just kind of go around.
Well, here's the thing.
There's a dog trying to eat it.
Here's the thing. Every city, every area is not immune. No one is safe from this kind of stuff. No one is safe from a wine bar with olives, crudo, and a sourdough from popping up in your neighborhood and ruining your life. It's not. No city is safe. You think you live in Tulsa, you're good. You're not. Anyone could get got in today's modern society.
I guess to go back to what I was saying originally, where I was a gentrifier at some point.
Of course, we all were. So we're white. We're white.
This is a neighborhood that has been gentrified. It's on its its third iteration of gentrification. So how long, does the angst and resentment and anger, is it compounded? Like how many times can the gentrifiers gentrify the gentrified areas before some kind of collapse happens, or does it just go on forever? And that's
it goes on forever.
Advancements in human society.
Yeah, it absolutely goes on forever, and nowhere is safe. I mean, if you want to, I mean, you can live in Bed-Stuy in a $5 million brownstone. Nothing is safe, and I think that's fine.
Yeah,
I think that's fine because unfortunately we do benefit from it. Even though Bar Secco is not an example of that, but there are examples of places that I'm like, well, I'm glad this is here. I go here all the time. It's a nice thing to have in my neighborhood.
I've met some white people that make a very good quesadilla, that make a very good
Look, when I was in Portland, I had a delicious birria taco and her name and that woman's name was Sharon, and she was super nice and really it tasted really authentic.
Say her name.
I have to say it tasted super, super authentic.
She went to Oaxaca once, so it's a little different, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's, as an old head, I'm looking at it as like, what about the fundamental issues going on? Like, let's not go shopping for the Picasso ashtrays until we've figured out what to do about all the blood and vomit on the sidewalk, or like what to do about like, oh, I don't want to go there because like, I'm afraid to walk from my car to the restaurant. Like, let's fix those problems.
There's nowhere in New York or LA.
I don't want to get stabbed by a nude guy.
There's nowhere in New York or LA where I'm scared to walk from my car to the restaurant. I got to keep it 100 with you. I think that's been
Chris, you're a 6'4", 200-pound guy who works out every day, and there's two of you, of course. But I'm talking about the 5'2" shouties.
I just mean these places aren't as dangerous. You sound like fake news. These places aren't as dangerous as Fox is telling us that they are. Like the in New York, it's like you can't ride the subway. I ride the subway all the time. It's totally fine. In fact, I would say I don't even see that many crazy people anymore. I think the subway's been gentrified too. Like I'm sure, like of course things happen. Like I'm not in denial of crime. I just think that like once a wine bar opens, people act like that neighborhood used to be a fucking shooting gallery. And like in the case of Silver Lake, I don't think that's necessarily true. Not that it was definitely different. You know what I mean? But like I don't think it
was a shooting gallery for the generations before us.
Yes, sure.
X and older. It was a shooting gallery. It took our nation's gays to come in.
That's right.
And gentrify.
And I think we need to let's take a moment right now and give some credit to the gays for being the number one gentrifiers in the world, because if the gays move in, prices go up, and it's bad and good. And that's just what it is. They're early settlers.
Yeah, it is bad and good, but I think it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I know that this neighborhood is run by a street gang called the Rascals, and my TV got stolen 3 times last week, but it takes a certain person to go in. I'm going to move in, clean it up. There's a tree there now. Now I painted my awning. Ooh, it's popping. And then it's just an infectious growth of beautification in a non-predatory way. It's not like, ooh, I want to buy this building and then kick everyone out and then turn it into 17 condos instead of 3 and then start renting those out for $8,000 a month. You know, it's just a general beautification.
Well, yeah,
and
just a lot of stores
of your daily space, which is nice.
It's a lot of stores you don't need, but things do get clean, and that's all that people. I think that's all people really want. I mean, we don't need anything though. Is the reality. I mean, that's what it comes down to. But I'm glad. Okay, so it was raining last night, and you got scared.
I think I've been using too many valets lately, so the thought, it's just like, oh. Echo Park. I have to like park.
I hate valets and I hate Echo Park, so I'm at a loss for this one. This is
wow.
Tough for me.
You're truly torn.
I'm torn. I really.
Why do you hate you hating valets is so odd.
No, I just find it overly complicated and like.
But you like paying for parking.
I like
paying. You do it yourself.
I want to pay. Yeah, I want to pay $100. I would rather pay $50 and park it myself than pay $20 and watch a guy. Like if I can see my car and I have to pay you $20 to bring it to me, which is very often the case, I find that disheartening and confusing. Where it's not about the money, it's about the efficiency and the stupidity of the whole operation.
Sure. What are we all doing here, guys? Unless it's parked out front because it's what
are we all doing?
A nice little Maybach or something, See me coming.
Yeah.
Leave it running.
Yeah, you see me coming.
Okay, so much in the news today. Let's see here. We got first of all, shout out to Neiman Marcus Bev Hills. I was posted up there reading a book while Carolyn got a Chanel lymphatic massage, which to me sounded like a good drag name of some sort.
It does feel draggish. It does feel draggish.
But it felt nice to read a book at a bar in the daytime inside a retail store and have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
There was a woman sitting next to me that was a little drunk, and she was kind of like hating on everyone else around me. And there was like a drunk couple drinking like there's like lemon drops or Cosmos or something like that. And she was like, they're lucky this place has an escalator, just kind of shading, like old bitch on old bitch shade. And I pulled out my book, and it has the dust cover off, so I didn't know which side was the top or the bottom. You know what I mean? It was
this isn't looking good for you. This isn't looking good for you.
It's just a black book. You know what I mean? So I open the book, and I see that the book is upside down.
Okay,
so I flip it around.
So your tattered copy of War and Peace you pulled out to dramatically read a book in public, and you did. It was upside. It was upside.
It was
down.
not dramatically.
It was upside down.
I had to kill some time. What am I going to do? Look at reels?
Yeah, I've seen you kill time looking at reels for years. But I appreciate this. I've also
years.
When the dust cover is off, it's true. This can happen.
So
I'm not.
So she sees me open the book, and then kind of I realized that the letters are upside down. So I flipped the book around. And then this old bitch kind of had some little snap for me, just like, oh, I'm glad. Did you figure out which way to turn the book, kind of thing? And I looked at her, and I had to swallow because I knew I couldn't walk down this road. I just had to chuckle and let this bitch go because I was like 2 clicks away. I had just sat down.
No, everybody can get it, bro. No, fuck that. Everybody can get it. I don't give a fuck. If you're geriatric and you want to mouth off, you can get it too. Because I don't think that there ain't no reason if you want to start shit, then there's going to be some shit.
I
think
know,
that's
but I kind of
totally fair.
liked them, which is the problem. I don't know. They were dressed cool.
Well, if they're really about it, they could take a little
It's true.
zing back.
I guess maybe the truth is I didn't have a. I was hit off guard. I was back
Sure,
on my back foot. I was on my heels, and I didn't have a TJ worthy zinger in the chamber, so I wasn't able to squeeze.
I would have gone with something kind of simple and straightforward, like "shut up, bitch," maybe. But I understand what you mean. It could be. There's an art to it.
It was said to me sort of in jest. It was not insultery, really. It was just poking fun at a situation.
Oh, sweetheart, it was definitely insultery. Don't get it twisted. An old bitch knows what she's doing. She's been doing that for 100 years.
I sat down and she's like, "Are you a professional athlete?" And I said no. And then she got really disappointed. But then, you know, I was like, do you really think that me don't know how to read so poorly? In fact, that I am unable to tell when the letters are upside down or right side up? Is that what you're insinuating? Anyway, congratulations to Young Thug for being free.
Yeah, I mean,
we're very, very happy for him. Not as many people are bummed about Lil Durk being incarcerated than Thug is something I noticed.
I honestly don't.
People are very okay with Lil Durk being in jail.
I like Young Thug. He's cool. The music just doesn't. I don't really get it. I have to be honest. I've said that for years. I mean, he's got great songs.
Not for you.
But the way people talk about it is like I'm not seeing it. I'm not hearing it. But I don't want anybody in jail, obviously, especially.
So you want him
cool.
to go back? Is that what you think? Is that what you're saying?
No, but I'm just like, do you guys really listen to this all the time? Like, is this really music people listen to all the time, or do they just think he's super cool and like what he stands for? Because that's okay too.
I think he has kind of an obtuse, drunken style, if we're going to use a martial arts reference, and it's one of those flavors like we were talking about earlier this morning about some extreme baile funk, where it's like, you know, this is not going to be for most people. Most people are not going to enjoy this whatsoever, and then some people's brains are kind of tickled in a way by it.
Well, he's very popular, so a lot of people do like it, but I think that going to jail helps your popularity as well.
Almost as much as dying, but yeah, it's true. But he was very, very beloved before incarcerated as well, and I was an enjoyer of his music.
Totally.
It was, to me, I just liked it so much because, or I like it so much. I don't know why I'm talking about him posthumously, but it was just something so wildly different when it first came out. When I heard Pikachu, and he just sort of was like, okay, this is how another way that you could rhyme. Here's how my twisted mind works. And a lot of people were like, bro, you sound like, you know, a 6-year-old with some type of syndrome that has yet to be named yet. And then other people are like, you are quirked up and random and you have guns and stuff. This is awesome.
I kind of agree. I mean, Pikachu's a good song. I mean, that's what I mean. He's also got that. He had that like big hit song with T.I. That's a great song too.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like people love to talk about like the mixtape. I'm like, the mixtapes are like 30 songs that all sound the same. It's like Frank Ocean style, where it's like this is just vibes. There's no songs here, and I don't know. When people like stuff like that, I don't think they understand what they're liking. Does that make sense? Like, I think they think it's cool. I think they think it's cool to like it, so they like it. I don't think they necessarily understand what was trying to be achieved by said artist, which is good for the artist.
I think you could use that sentence to describe the clothing of Supreme, as well as many other things in the world. I feel like that's one of those things where, you know, every time they drop a My Bloody Valentine collab, and it's just 400,000 12-year-olds who are like, I Googled these guys. The music's weird. But anyway, I bought 17 of these shirts and 17 of these NASCAR jackets.
Yeah.
Because my dad said it's a good investment.
I mean, that's true about a lot of things. I mean, I think that's why people buy fucking Eckhouse Lotta and all this art project shit. Like they think it's cool to talk about it more than it is to wear it, you know. Like,
do you even like Havana featuring Camila Cabello?
Oh, I forgot about. I mean, we got, you know, also shout out to our bi king Shawn Mendes. He's just figuring it out, Jason. His sexuality. He's just figuring it out, and I'm glad that it took the New York Times to get that out of him, even though we know we've been saying he's gay since he came on the scene.
Well, he doesn't know because he hasn't had time to figure it out yet. he has not had time to suck or fuck because he's been so busy in the lab.
He canceled
having his growth stunted.
He's one of those guys who canceled like a 2-year arena world tour because of like mental health.
You do what you want when you're popping. He's so hot that it doesn't matter, right?
It's true. No, I mean, it's true. I love Shawn Mendes. I think he's got some great songs.
Yeah.
I think he's got great songs. But I wonder.
I think if I was him, I'd be like, okay, I hit this certain age. I've made enough music and I've shown the world that I'm a musical genius of some sort. I have a lot of money, fame, and success. Could do whatever I want. And I think he's at the age where he's like, I'm going to pump the brakes. I'm going to not be like this, high school girl pop crooner person. And the world is my oyster. Like I could Jacob Elordi right now. I could start acting. I could get cast in wherever I want. He could really do whatever. He's peaking, and maybe peaking while you're making music for children is not the vibe.
I don't think it's music for children, first of all, because see, this is what I'm saying. Popular music doesn't mean it's for children. It means that somebody wants to go that way versus making mixtapes with 32 songs that sound like noises. It's just two different sides of the same coin.
Look, yeah, we're two different insults. Two different insults being flung in both directions. I'm clearly saying that to insult them. It's the same argument, which is fine. I want to insult it because I don't think it's actually music for children, just people with the mind of a child.
I mean, you could say that about the Beatles then, I guess, if you're talking about popular music. Like, how far do you want to take
some
this?
songs? Yeah, I Want to Hold Your Hand. That's for retards. But, you get into some of the headier stuff. Oh, brother.
You know what's for retards is the Joy Orbison Radiohead
wrong
remix that we heard earlier.
Your brain
that literally sounds like...
Your brain is too afraid to even admit to yourself that you are unable to understand those sounds.
But see, that's the thing. If music shouldn't be hard to understand. That's not what things we're meant to enjoy shouldn't be.
Do you think art should be hard to understand?
No, I think that when you see something that that resonates with you, you know that immediately. I don't think I need to stare at something for a half an hour to try to understand it. That doesn't make sense to me.
So instant gratification better than delayed gratification?
No, it has nothing to do with gratification. It has to do with something being quote unquote challenging or not challenging. I think that's more the viewer than the creator.
It's more challenging to take $5 in a month or $1 today. You know what I mean? But if you're willing to wait, or a long book or a long film, or there's a lot of things where I think
length has nothing to do with it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I think people want to like bad shit because it makes them seem smarter to other people or more like more invested.
When you say bad shit,
like people love bad shit. And they're like, oh, well, you just don't get it. And it's like, well, it's bad. I do get it.
So bad shit like the clothing from Shine, McDonald's? What are you talking? What kind of bad stuff are we talking about?
Well, yeah, that's different because those are like guilty. Well, Shine is not, but like McDonald's people, the fascination with fast food is a whole nother issue that I will never understand. And the romantic, I guess it's because it's like romanticizing childhood a little bit. Is probably what it comes down to.
I think that's a lot of it, and I think a lot of people don't want to admit to themselves that they have a elementary palate.
Well, it's also engineered
for
to
whatever
taste good.
Childhood trauma.
You know what I mean? As it's meant to satisfy, which I think it probably does if that's what you're looking for. No, I just mean that like historically we've gone through. I mean, I can think of many examples like during the hardcore days of some like awful weird metal screamo band that like didn't know how to write songs. People be like, oh, you just don't get it. And I'm like, no, I do get it. I'm very well versed in what this band is trying to do. This is just not good. It's just not a good version of what it is. But there's always someone.
I agree with that.
There's always someone who's going to be like, oh, well, you just don't understand. Like this 7-inch that was recorded in a basement, you don't understand this.
This experimental sludge noise compilation where it's just a sound of...
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, there is... Yeah. I agree with that, and I think that you are... Most of that is true. You are pretending that you're able to understand this deep and complex thing because it makes you look smarter, cooler, more interesting, more niche, I'm a little bit different than y'all. I'm one interesting chica. But I think that there are certain styles of art, music, whatever it might be, where like certain people's brains literally do understand it, love it, and appreciate it. And you're like, this is the way, like that song, for example, we're talking about a Baile Funk remix of Radiohead's Creep that DJ Joey Orbison played. It was like,
DJ Luquinhas. Semana sem fuder.
and it's a very Baile Funk is like crazy extreme boom pop pop like weird crazy sounds, the editing, the mixing, it's all fucked up, weird stuff with Tom York singing I'm a Creep. It's a weird juxtaposition. It sounds all fucked up. There's sounds happening, odd rhythms, musical structures, timing signatures, all that stuff.
It's noise.
Most people are like,
it's noise. It's noise.
But to me, the way that my brain works, whatever way, I don't know, it just works. It's like I always visualize certain things like that as like when you see like a cat and you like scratch the cat on the neck, like behind the ear, and you can just see it really enjoying it. Certain things do that to certain people, and you're just like, I don't know why I like this so much. I don't know why this being mixed with this and these sounds and it all happening in this certain way. My brain is like it's flowing. It's in sync. There's something going on. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think I'm sure it was in sync for people that were on drugs at 3 a.m. and that's why anything like that actually works. But it just doesn't need to exist. But that's true about a lot of things. Like, but I mean, this guy's job is to do this, and obviously it's not for me. But I also think that at a certain point, it's like, what is this? Because in theory, you can combine anything, and somebody's going to say that works. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
yeah.
There's no...
I mean, well, you could, even if we're not talking about combinations, we can just be talking about, you know, the art of Jackson Pollock or the music of Aphex Twin or all these things where it's just like, I don't get it. What is it? And then some people, you know, their eyes look like a cat that's being pet when they hear it because the way their twisted little brain works is the same way as Jackson Pollock or Aphex Twin.
Sure.
Or Young Thug.
Sure. No, look, to each their own. I'm all set on all of it. I'm all set on all of it, and that's how it's going to continue.
Look, we don't want you cops to like this stuff anyway. This is what makes it cooler.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's cool. I'm sure it's super cool.
Just close my door when you leave the room, Dad.
Can you just like shut the door, dude? You don't get it. Shut the door.
In better news, let's see here. What else we got here? Our friend of the show, Bill Maher, he chimed in a little bit on
Bill guy.
Kill Tony at the Trump rally. He said, "Kill Tony at the Trump rally is like bringing Coke to a funeral," which is a phrase. And I was like, that works so well. I've never heard that phrase before, like bringing Coke to a funeral. It's a very specific situation. And I liked it, and I hope to use that analogy in the near future.
My favorite defender of Kill Tony was fucking Jon Stewart's dusty ass. Like being like, well, I just think this guy's funny. It was really, his response was actually,
he was the only defender as well.
I just, again, like I said, I just don't think it was funny, but people really be mad about it. And I mean, when Donald Trump's like, I don't know who this guy is, which is really funny. He's like, I don't know who this is. I've never heard this guy in my life. He like kept repeating that over and over, which I also believe. Like, there's no way that Donald Trump knew who that was and said this guy should play.
True. And I think that he has said this, he probably said the same exact thing about JD Vance before he chose for him to be his running mate.
Totally, yeah.
And I'm sure
I don't know anything about this guy. I've never seen this guy in my
3
life.
months,
about him.
Kill Tony is going to be the secretary of you know, the treasury of defense, whatever it is. He's going to take Buttigieg's job, and he's going to talk about how he was a tremendous roast comedian. People are saying he's almost as good as Jeff Ross, the roast master.
People are saying he's almost as good as Jeff Ross. Well, I did watch Kamala do her appearance last night on SNL, and it was the classic kind of the best one for me is the Jimmy Fallon Mick Jagger. You know, where they're looking in the mirror You know, that was the vibe.
Okay.
And people like, of course, like, you know, they're like Kamala laughed too much. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Come on. Of course she did. She's on fucking SNL and she's not a professional. What do you expect, dude?
Oh, like people were saying like she broke character.
Yeah, it's like she's not in character, dumbass. She's playing herself. Like, what do you care?
So she was not getting pushed to the next round of UCB next semester.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, do you really expect her to be nailing it? Like, it's more about just like showing face
Was she
getting excited. Like,
was Fallon on stage as well?
No. It was just
okay.
it was basically just Maya Rudolph and her like looking in the mirror. You know, it was like a mirror thing.
Right.
There was no
yes.
There was
I think
no
they did that
no
with
one else was.
Ariana Grande and White Lotus chick. They did that as well.
Yeah, probably.
Mirror type shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we want Cop Mala to break, as they say in the biz. Lauren's fine with it, and also Jimmy Fallon. No one broke more than him, right?
Yeah, he's the best breaker. No 5 elements, but he's the best breaker. He's the best
no Jabberwock.
breaker.
But being the best breaker is a bad thing, by the way. That's not good.
I think it worked quite well for him. Honestly, I think it made him really much more famous.
It did.
You know,
it's yeah, but in the community, that's known as a cheater's kind of shortcut kind of thing.
I wish I cared about the comedy community, but I think Jimmy came out on top. He's making $100 million a year to play Twister with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah,
so
he's killing.
I don't know.
People yell shit at him, and then he interviews the Rizzler. He's really
dude. It was cool because he was mean to the Rizzler. And people were upset that he was mean to the Rizzler. I'm like, that's the coolest thing he's done in years.
You can't be mean to the Rizzler, bro. That's just. I mean, in this trying time,
inviting the Rizzler onto your show to be mean to him is cool. I hate to give Jimmy Fallon any credit, but
bringing the Rizzler on your comedy show and then being rude to him is like bringing Coke to a funeral.
I think that we need to shame the Rizzler and his family as much as possible, until they go away. Because I still don't know. Can you explain to me where the Rizzler came from? Is it just like a TikTok thing? Like, is there something I don't understand about it that like exalted it to these levels that it's on now?
The original origin story of the Rizzler. I don't know. I mean, he could be 8 years old. He could be 30. I can't really tell. And I think he was just kind of beasting in the underground on TikTok, and then these fucking jabronis saw him and said, "You're rolling with us now, brother." And I think they just kidnapped him.
If you're saying, okay, so he got took, and that's it.
They keep him locked in a cage, but it's roomy.
Yeah, he seems like a person who eats out of a bowl, and I mean on the floor. you know what I'm saying? We need to put the Rizzler in his crate before we go out to dinner.
Yeah, we're unfortunately in our lifetime, as if we don't have a world war that crumbles our infrastructure into nothing. At some point in our lifetime, we're going to see the Rizzler on like some type of bang bus situation where he loses his virginity to like 3 thoroughbreds, and we're going to have to watch the Rizzler.
Bro, the thought of the Rizzler getting into porn because he's exhausted all of his other options is really fucking funny.
It won't be Make-A-Wishy, but it won't not be Make-A-Wishy. It'll be a favor for a favor, just a clout deal.
Honestly, I bet the Rizzler is getting laid. I don't know how old he is, but
he's like 8 years old.
Bro, I bet he's getting laid. He's doing more numbers than Hawk Tua off his internet fame. Rizzler's out here fucking. Come on now. He's the Rizzler.
I just Googled that. The first question is the Rizzler a child? He's 7 years old, Chris. He's 7 years old.
Okay, my bad. I didn't realize. I thought he was one of those guys. This is like when I said Mason Disick was doing coke. When he was a teenager, when he was 10. I think the Rizzler. I'm sorry, I didn't know the Rizzler was 7. I thought he was one of those people who looked young, like Vern Troyer.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I thought he was
sure.
I thought that, and I think that's a reasonable.
It was like a Benjamin Button, but instead of a button, it was like a stuffed crust pizza kind of situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He is a human.
He's a human stuffed crust pizza.
He is a human stuffed crust pizza.
But the inside of the crust, it's not stuffed with cheese. It's stuffed with like cookie dough.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's got a twist.
His name is Christian. He's from New Jersey. He went viral for his spunky personality. with his parents' supervision, of course, and things really popped off when his dad captured a video of Christian essentially getting the zoomies in a Black Panther costume.
Wow.
Okay, so he got famous for wearing a Black Panther
That
costume
seems bad.
and running around a living room. Why is that bad? It's called equality.
It's not called equality. White people can't. It's much like Jordan's. White people can't wear that uniform. That's not okay,
Bro.
In New Jersey, look, New Jersey things are different.
Riz Conda forever, bro. Riz Conda.
Oh shit!
You know, because they're like, we were talking about him, you know, joking about being alive long enough to see him lose his virginity, but like, also, what do you think the odds are that he will make it to that age where he's legally allowed to have sex with a person?
It's not looking great, but he could like snooky himself though. You know what I mean? He could like
Say more, brother.
I just think he could end up being a snooky type person in our lives. Like I think he could be around longer than anyone ever expected. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. So like
Jersey,
a cockroach.
Yeah, I mean Jersey Shore was. I mean that was. I bet that was 15 years ago. I mean that was a long time ago.
The Situation has 3 kids now.
The Situation sober has 3 kids. Yeah, I mean,
and they all be looking like the Situation, male or female. Poor
well,
guys.
funnily enough, I could imagine the Situation having kids that actually look like the Rizzler. If you think of, I mean, the New Jersey connection, he might have his own Rizzes on Decky.
You take him over to Sonic one too many times, and it can get Rizzly fast, huh?
Take him to Sonic. Don't let me go to Sonic. Don't let me hit Checkers for the fries, bro. I'll be
Leonardo
a big boy.
Isn't doing his Turkish get-ups, it could go south pretty quick.
It goes very south. Very, very south.
Let's see here. Tucker Carlson says that he has been mauled in his sleep by demons.
Sure. Yeah, I saw that.
And his bed was all bloody. And what do you think about this?
I mean, I don't think a lot about it. I mean, I think these guys are really just all over the place, man. They're just going absolutely fucking nuts. And
Yeah.
I think
because people love Tucker. People consider him to be a well-spoken guy. He's a douchebag, but he seems like a smart guy who's lived a long life, and you could probably have a beer with him despite him probably having bad ideas of how the future of the world should be run. But once somebody says like, hey guys, just want to let you know, last night I was mauled in my sleep by demons from the other world.
That's where, yeah, you're like,
what happened? Does your credibility change?
You know what? You can just have the blue moon yourself. I'm good. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to talk about.
You don't need
anymore.
to crack this. No, I don't need the orange slide. I'm good.
No,
and then
good.
the only person that backs you up
No.
is Alex Jones.
That's the problem.
He's all, bro, I've been mauled before in my sleep as well. Has nothing to do with amphetamines.
It's really, really funny, all of it. But I don't know what that is. Like, do you think he's being honest? Like, do you think he really thinks this happened to him? Or do you think he is kind of...
Yeah.
Okay, so you think it's real as far as, like, what he believes.
Yeah, I mean, The Guardian, Tucker Carlson claims a demon attacked him, left him bleeding in bed. He was physically mauled by an unknown entity that left him with claw marks. Is this a chupacabra situation?
Left him with claw marks. I didn't
Damn,
see.
chupacabra came back.
Damn. Okay, so so it's his blood, is what he's saying.
Okay, he says, I had direct experience with the demons in my bed at night. I got attacked while I was asleep with my wife and 4 dogs, mauled, physically mauled. He still bears the scars and said his assailant was a demon or something unseen that left claw marks on my sides.
Wow. Okay, so you're telling me that Big Tuck. First of all, the takeaway is that Tucker Carlson wears a full like Brooks Brothers pajama set to bed, no question. That has his initials monogrammed on it, no
with
question.
a sleeping cap as well.
Definitely, he has a silk eye mask. He's got the whole thing. But you're telling me that Big Tuck sleeps with 4 dogs? That is one of the most disgusting. That's scarier than demons.
4 is crazy.
A grown man who sleeps with 4 dogs in the bed. Having animals in beds is crazy to me, obviously. But 4, that just means that Tucker Carlson had to have a custom. It must be the biggest bed ever made.
Also, dogs have claws. And dogs have nightmares.
This is where I was going. I was thinking the same thing, Jason, and you know better than me as a dog owner, but you're saying it could have been the dogs, maybe it wasn't these kind of unseen demons, is what you're suggesting.
Yeah, and you know that he doesn't have 3 Pomeranians. They're probably something with a little more.
Oh yeah,
more
he's
claw.
got some big boys.
He might have a German Shepherd in there. I know he likes to go hunting. There's probably some hunting dogs. So they're not. Yeah, I'm looking at it's not JD Vance. He's got a fucking Nazi soldier there, but this is clearly he was in bed. His dog had a nightmare, scratched him up, or they finally couldn't take it anymore. Daddy was kicking. Tuck kept kicking.
You know that Tucker Carlson famously, from all the Zen, has restless leg syndrome. That's a known. That's kind of a known thing that Tucker.
Tucker had restless leg syndrome. He was jonesing for a Zen. His night Zen had fallen out of his mouth, rendering his nervous system unpredictable. He kicks. Okay, dogs names. You know these dogs are named. He's got Adolf. What are these dogs' names?
Oh no, I think they're going to be like Southern children names. Where I'm going to go.
Okay, we've got a golden retriever named Agnes, a Maine Coon cat named Betsy. He's got a Cocker Spaniel named Macy, and then another Spaniel that just says dog. Yeah, so
it just says dog.
So dog. He kicks dog square between the eyes, and then dog says, "I can't take it no more. I don't like you, and I don't like your politics," and got to scratching. But the worst part about it all, you're a guy in his 50s with millions and millions of dollars, fans across the world, and your dog scratches you in bed at night, and you're like, you know what? I need to take this to Reuters. I need to release a press release statement to the global news wire that I got scratches on my side in bed.
Did he release this? I feel like this is something that and this doesn't happen to us, I guess, because we don't platform freaks like this, but like he probably said this on a live stream or like a podcast, and someone was like, you know what? We need to write about this. Then we got to tell the world. We got to tell the world.
Theo Vaughn was like, say what now? Let's go. Let's back that up, please. Let's go pay some bills.
Let's go.
But I mean, just to anyone, like if I got a weird scratch in bed, who am I going to tell that to at all? To me, that's not newsworthy whatsoever.
Me, you're gonna tell it to me. That's why I'm almost positive this must have come from a podcast or some sort of weird, right wing live stream network that we're not even allowed to know about. That's my guess.
He put this information out into the world because he had a calculated reason for it. He's a grifter, shikster kind of guy. He has a motive behind this for whatever reason. I don't know what that is. What do you think it could be?
I think he's once again coming after the Satanist community, the demon community. He's attacking the demon community in a way that feels religious. It feels like he feels like this is the devil at work, and maybe he's trying to.
Do you think it
come out against that?
Well, if all these demons got in through Kamala's border, something like that, maybe.
That's yes. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. This is what I'm talking about.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're scratching my lats. They're scratching my obliques as well.
My lats are all fucked up thanks to these guys. These fucking illegal demons fucked up my lats. Dude, that is the thing is what you're saying is so ridiculous, but that is not that far off from something that would really be said. Like it's really not that far off. It's really not. It's really, really not.
I don't think the demon can get through this wall, fellas.
I mean,
it's a tall one.
Yeah, it's got barbed wire at the top. I mean, I'm very excited. I really loved seeing the footage of when Trump was giving the speech from the Trump trash truck.
Trump trash truck.
I don't know if you saw. He had the custom trash truck that he was kind of leaning out the side, but before that, when he was getting into the truck, he kind of like Biden style, like missed the handle. Like he just couldn't grab the handle to open the door.
It's also him style.
And it was
that's the only part I saw.
It's him style.
But also to
It's
go
good,
back
but-
to me talking about people creating art for people with the minds of a 5-year-old. Trump being like, let's get a big shiny garbage truck and we drive it on the TV. There's a good amount of 18-year-old voters in swing states who still have a mind that's able to be delighted, impressed, and enchanted by a big garbage truck or fire truck.
They said, dude, watching like on the weekends in New York City, there are hundreds of people that want to take picture with fire truck, and I don't. I every time I'm like, you flew here from Europe to come to New York, and I understand that you want to hit Empire State Building. You know, you want to do some of this iconic thing.
You flew here. Sorry to interrupt. You flew here from a place that also has fire truck.
But you want to, but I think it's a post 9/11 thing. I think that like firefighters are seen as heroes. No one's trying to take a picture with a police car. It's only but you know what I mean. So people are. It's just such a strange.
Not after what they did to Rodney King.
It's such a strange phenomenon of people like just. I mean, I see them. They stand there. They wait. These guys, the firefighters who are like guys from Long Island who hate everything, have to stand there and talk to these people and let Fido with all the spots take pictures. It's crazy.
I think there was a Sex and the City episode that sort of sings your same song.
Yes.
Where they go, I think, to Long Island to a sexy fireman calendar release party.
Yes.
And then they all realize that we need something upstairs in the brain as well. It's not just all about having a sick body and putting out the fires.
Thank God for us. Otherwise, it'd be dry. It'd be very dry.
I'm going to need more than I don't want it if it's that easy.
Yeah, of
to
course.
Quote Tupac.
Yeah, of course.
I saw another Chris Black trend that is beginning to come.
What do we got?
The eye of the storm.
What do we got?
This is, something that Chris has been shouting for a while, and now it's in the zeitgeist. Olivia Rodrigo said space exploration and the desire to go to space is a red flag, and asks every first date if they want to go to space or not to get a gauge on that person. And she said if the person wants to go to space, that's a flag, and she doesn't date them anymore.
Wow. This is good stuff. I really appreciate you bringing this to my attention as well as listeners' attention. Olivia, you know where to find me. It's at Done to Death Projects on Instagram. I hate space. I hate NASA. I have no interest in that. I don't know, man. I think it's freaky when people like that. Personally, I think it's a red flag. And I know you're listening. So just do with that information what you will. But Jason,
I hate JPL.
This is big because this is, like I said, I don't always feel like I'm bleeding edge, but I feel like not being interested in space exploration and making fun of people for wearing NASA sweatpants from Urban Outfitters I was out on the ledge alone. There was no one there to support me.
It's not an easy stance to take. It's not an easy stance to take.
Once again, I'm standing in front of the firing squad, and I'm,
Teflon Don over here.
Yeah, I'm the Teflon Don, and now
the bullets are going boing, boing.
To have a major superstar on the level of Olivia Rodrigo, the voice of a generation, side with me and the right side of history. This is big for the movement, and this could get me in office. This could be the endorsement I need to push me over the edge.
And you all, for a long time, you also have been saying that boys suck. So this is not the first time you two have been in sync, as they say.
I didn't realize that Olivia Rodrigo and I aligned so much in so many ways, but this is great to uncover.
But
this is big for us.
You know how I like to contrarianize up in here.
Of course.
One could make the argument that a girl asking me on a first date if I want to go to space or not could equally be considered a red flag.
I do. It does feel like
what kind of bitch cares about space so much that this is a deal breaker for you? What's going on upstairs in your neck of the woods, sister?
Yeah, I don't think that's incorrect. I think also though you can pick up without asking directly. You can pick up if somebody has a "I want to go to space" vibe.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you don't.
You can see that in the Raya profile. Can you imagine
see
the Raya in next month? There's a little tab that's like no smoking. I'm bi. Blah blah blah, and there's just like a red X through a picture of the moon.
That's cool.
No space.
No space.
Don't worry, guys. I'm 100% space free. I care not to explore the galaxy whatsoever.
Look, I want to be very clear. I am space free. I am 100% space free.
I have been space free since 2017. Thank you very much. It's my 7th anniversary.
This is good news for me, though. This is really good news for me because I didn't expect a pop starlet to be the one that comes to my rescue, but I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that.
It's a big win for the team.
It's a huge win for us. It's a huge win for us.
A loss for you as a Drake fan. Drake and his hired goon Chubbs, his enforcer.
Mm-hmm.
They spent last night.
You're my Chubbs, so be careful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm your Chubbs in that I'm a guy who he warns everyone about but never does anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Then yes.
I tell people, I'm like, bro, don't say that shit to Jason. He ain't with that play.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, you're right, nothing happens.
And then smash cut, I'm sitting on the guy's lap.
Okay. So you're saying that Big Chubbs, OVO Chubbs, you're saying he's always referred to as the shooter, but he doesn't seem to be doing much shooting. Is what you're inferring?
Don't catch him in the news a ton with his mugshot, or I don't see him.
No,
I don't see him at all. He's not out here. I'm not calling him out. I'm sure Chubbs knows a lot of people on the speed dial that can have me killed. You just hear a lot about him being a real bad boy shooter, but. Him and Drake, wearing some type of fuzzy ERL sweater of some sort, camo hoodie, and baggy pants. They were trying to intimidate a basketball player.
I saw them mean mugging from courtside. Correct? That's what you're referring to?
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan.
DeRozan. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan.
Who is a 6'6" professional athlete from Compton.
Oh.
And then you got a Canadian guy named Chubbs who can't make eye contact all the way, trying to intimidate you. What's going on there? Is this related to Kendrick beef?
No, I think all rapper beefs are because they're fucking the same chicks. I think that's really, and this is something I've probably gleaned from listening to so much Joe Budden, but I feel like there's a limited pool of women, and for whatever reason, these guys just can't help themselves to kind of, they have the same taste, I guess. I don't know.
It's a good theory.
I think that has a lot to do with it because that's when men act out the most.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is really what will lead a rich, successful athlete or musician to behave like a 15-year-old who had their feelings hurt because one of the homies smashed his ex or whatever it might be.
They're beefing over a Tyla's friend or something like that they met 3 weeks ago.
And to really go Joe Budden mode, they're fighting over a bartender from Starlets. Is what I would say. So, and that's what I think is so funny about it. But Drake also at this point, I just don't know what's going to happen. I'm concerned.
What I want to know.
There's no music.
I wish I could have predicted this earlier, but he's really having an Elon Musk style fall from grace. Obviously not on that big of a level, but kind of like
wow, yeah.
There was a time when the Toronto Raptors, when they found out that Drake was going to sit courtside and ride for them so hard, they're like, dude, this is so sick. This is just a cash injection. All eyes are on us. Everyone wants to come to every home game because Drake's going to be there. He's shouting out the players and his songs. This is so sick. And then 5 years later, there's probably people upstairs in the organization who are like, we got to get Drake out of here, man. He's just, he's cramping our style now.
I know, honestly, it's possible. It really is possible.
It's the rapper version of coming up on stage and doing like a jumping jack and saying, USA, USA.
I don't.
And then you got a guy named Aubrey from the suburbs of Canada, and a guy, 6'6" giant athlete from Compton, who his coach was when he was 12 years old. He was coached by Master P. Like, what's really going on here?
Well, DeMar is a former Raptor.
Oh.
So they probably have real beef.
I feel bad for all the sports people listening to this right now who know all the answers to us and watch us sort of drunkenly stumble around the truth.
I thought that
but it's more fun this way.
They're probably homies, and then I still think a woman could have come between them, but also he left, obviously he left Toronto, so that's on site at that point. If you know what I mean? If you crash out, you leave me, then that's what time it is.
Okay, so you were a traitor. He was set tripping.
He was yeah, exactly. Just like Tupac said, he was set tripping, and I think that
you can't get mad at a player for getting traded, bro.
I agree. That's why I think it's a bartender from Starlets. I don't think I'm just saying, but I think they had a relationship because obviously Drake sat courtside at every game for a long time.
Yeah,
but I just think it's it's interesting where Drake chooses to kind of show face right now, and courtside at a basketball game seems like not the best place.
No, especially with the lighting in there, because you said showing face. His face is starting to show like that of a basset hound who got his hair braided nicely thanks to whatever injections he's off right now, right?
Yeah, he's getting some. He's definitely getting.
Do you think Badman's getting a ting in his abdomen poke?
I think
you don't know. You don't know what's
a Badman poke
being
ting.
slowly released.
Badman poked.
Yeah,
that's
in my tie meat.
When Drake gets the Ozempic, it's bad man ting in tummy.
Yeah,
that's a bad man prick in the stomach.
Do you think that Drake? Can you just imagine Drake talking to his doctor, and he's got the pamphlet for the type of Ozempic that only these certain people have access to, and he's like, "Look, I really do need to. I have some trouble area in my tummy and kind of on the sides, but like." This won't make my ass get smaller, will it?
It's literally.
And he's like, well, Aubrey, I can't really make any promises on exactly where from your body the fat will be removed from. And he's like, I got all this cake, doc. Me need me cake.
Got all this cake, doc. I heard that in Bugs Bunny voice for some reason.
Why are you being weird, doctor?
Hey, doctor, why are you being super weird though? Like, I just need the shot, okay? I don't want to lose my cakes.
I've worked really hard on my cakes, doctor.
Look, I've been really...
Yes, Aubrey. I've kept up on stories. I've kept up. I've seen it. You are shooting in the gym. I see it.
I mean, Drake's photo face is one of the greatest of all time. That's all I can relate. Drake's photo pout is one of the greatest things of all time to ever happen to us as a society, and it will be studied for years and years to come.
His selfie pouty face makes Chapel Roan look like the Undertaker or something like that. It's just
100%.
It looks like it's so good.
I watched Chapel last night. She did her little thing on SNL. It was, I mean, it's interesting that it's Chapel, McGee, Charlie, 1, 2, 3. They're really going out with a bang.
Lagan effect.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that, I mean, she sounded great, and she's got a bunch of shredders in the band, and there was even a kind of a violin / fiddle solo that really was impressive.
Okay, Arcade Fire.
I know, literally, it was impressive. But I forgot that we've talked about this before, but I didn't realize you could be a female drag performer. Like, I didn't realize that was like a thing. And so that's like kind of what she was doing before fame to some extent, I think. And then when you see this kind of performance, you're like, oh yeah, it's very obvious. Like, it's very, very theatrical. Lots of makeup, lots of hair, lots of, you know what I mean? It's like a real, like, she did her thing is what I'm saying. She really took over the space.
Yeah, I just searched r/drag on Reddit. Can women be drag queens? I think being a drag queen would be so fun, doing outrageous makeup, having bright hair, and being someone other than my brunette self for a while. Can women be drag queens? And then somebody said yes, and then listed some of her favorite female drag queens: Sigourney Beaver, Victoria Scone, Clover Bish,
bro,
and Scarlet Cyanide are all queens in that space.
Sigourney Beaver is one of the coolest things I've ever heard in my life. That is so fucking funny.
There's
Sigourney
also
Beaver.
I got a couple more. We got Creme Fatale.
That's good too.
And Venus Envy. Yeah, that's good. But I would say, like Lady Gaga is doing it.
Sure, of
Dolly
course,
Parton has done it.
Don't do that.
You know, and like 70s Cher was really getting loose with it as well.
You're right.
I think the reason why it's rare is that you have to mother or else it's instant death. There's no middle ground. You can't like be pretty good at it. It's like making a 9/11 joke. Like it's got to be a homer or else we're out of here.
Yeah.
And she is doing it and she is nailing it.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, I really didn't, and that's my ignorance. I just didn't realize that was like a thing. But now that I know Chapel Roan and Sigourney Beaver both exist, I will never make that mistake again, Jason. And that's that. I promise you that.
Some might say Sandra Bernhardt walked that line for a little while as well.
I wanted to discuss another not trend, but something that happens when the weather changes. You know, here in New York, and it is the guys who work out in a beanie
indoors.
Oh yeah. They keep the beanie stays on while they're lifting or running or whatever, and I just find it so it's like wearing the Apple AirPod Max Pro at the gym. It doesn't. That's not what those are for. Beanies are not for doing pull-ups. They're for keeping your ears warm when you're outdoors during the winter months. And I just don't understand. These dudes look insane.
What if you're doing pull-ups outdoors?
That's fine. Totally different thing.
Okay.
Totally different thing. If you're inside of an Equinox wearing a beanie to work out at any point, you need to rethink kind of everything you got going on.
Okay. Try this on for size. What if this is sort of, you know, when people will say like, I don't have time for a cold plunge or whatever, you can just put ice in a big bowl and dunk your face in there and it'll kind of give you a similar effect. Wearing the beanie while you're working out, is that sort of like a quick, easy way to get a little bit of the duct tape the garbage bag to my body to sweat it out?
I've thought
like
this
I'm
through.
creating a little.
I've thought this through, and I see why you're saying that, and that is a reasonable guess.
I'm feeling in the dark for any logical reason. I know there's not going to be one.
But
because I've worked out wearing a beanie, and then within 30 seconds of sweating, you're like, oh, I'm taking this beanie off instantly because it's very hot and uncomfortable and kind of nasty. All of your heat from your body comes out of the top of your head.
Yeah, it's good, disgusting.
And if you trap it all in there, it's gonna fuck you up unless you are literally dying in the cold.
But I think it's purely aesthetic. I think it's 100% purely aesthetic. These dudes think they look cool, and often they are in very good shape. Therefore, I can't, really turn my nose up at them.
Did it look like he was doing a difficult, strenuous workout that was getting his heart rate up, or was he gonna be in kind of lazy bro around checking his phone?
No, I will say this. I've never seen a beanie gym guy like rolling around the floor. They're usually getting it in. There is a through line between beanie gym guy
because beanie gym guy knows, just like doing female drag, you got to bring it or else no.
There's also a guy now that I've started to see that kind of he puts a towel on his head and then puts a beanie over it, and then while he is working out, he's kind of like dancing and like moving weird, and then he kind of tucks the towel behind his ears like it's hair.
Like how a pretty girl would.
Like basically he's getting his hair at his face because he's sweating doing this workout. But he's doing crazy shit. Everybody's like looking at him, trying not to laugh. But he's literally like got 120-pound dumbbells, putting it up like it's nothing. So no one can say shit.
I know what you mean.
No one can say shit to this freak. He takes up all this space. He uses stuff really weird.
Right.
He like dances around, but he's so buff that no one can say shit to it.
Can't tell me nothing. Yeah, I've seen this type of person. Like they're high functioning. They're getting something impressive done, but they have too many weird quirks and idiosyncronicities going on. Like I have to tell like a Rafa he has to. Pull his wedgie. He has an OCD tick where he has
like
to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's other guys out there where it's like, I have to have this towel, I have to roll it up 3 times, and it wraps around my forehead just like this. And then after my second set, I tuck it behind my ear. And then, like it could be something like that as well. And if you're getting the job done, then you really can't say shit.
That's the thing. And I respect getting the job done. I don't respect wearing a towel on your head like it's hair.
As long as you're not dancing around and taking up other people's space while they're trying to work out.
Well, he definitely is doing. He's definitely doing that. It's very, very
or if
strange.
I could see
It's some
your
of the strangest
balls,
behavior I've ever.
Otherwise I'm fine.
That's unless it's the sauna. I've just I've never seen this type of behavior. Like this guy is an anomaly. Like it's really, really over
He's
the top
new.
and like really kind of crazy. Yes. New kind of guy. But I think it is also, he might have something wrong with him. Sure. So
Yeah. I mean, he's killed before. He may kill again.
he may kill again, but we're coming up.
If he doesn't work out like this, that's what's keeping the demons away.
Exactly. What could happen? We're coming
The
up.
mall newscaster
I guess we're doing, okay, so we're podcasting on election day.
before the results come in.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going to be asleep before the results come in, so I don't really care about Tuesday so much. But I guess it is a big
It's
drinking.
a little different on the East Coast. You're right. You're not going to go to McSorley's and go get it up on the projector.
Yeah, it's a big drinking night, obviously. But
Yeah,
and speaking of, I wanted to mention that I said this in the group chat. You might not know what this is, but have you heard of a place called Bond Street?
Yeah.
A sushi restaurant, like a Japanese restaurant.
Yeah.
We went it was very, very popular in like the 2008, 2009, 2010 when I was really.
Yeah, who did we talk to on the pod that was one of the owners?
I don't
Or
know.
did we do that?
I don't know.
Never mind.
But we went last night,
I could have been wrong.
and man, it was smacking. And I have to say, and the scene is crazy because it feels like a club that the cast of The City would have gone to, basically. But then the food is good, but then they were literally playing Benny the Butcher
Ooh.
while I was eating. But for some reason, hearing Benny the Butcher at an Italian restaurant feels crazy to me. Hearing it at a clubby Japanese sushi restaurant feels very appropriate. Is that crazy?
No, because, I guess a good, proper sushi chef appreciates the art of butchery. So that does make sense.
yes. Much
more
like Benny the Butcher.
more so than Carbone,
Yeah, I was just
where they're pulling the ball of mozzarella out of the plastic bag and putting it on the plate for 78.
we should go when you're here. I think it's like a very interesting throwback, but the food was good, and it was just like the whole experience was really funny.
Okay.
It was really, really
I
funny.
guess I will go. It would be a lot more funny if I
Highly
didn't have to
recommend
pay
it.
for it, but I'm willing to give it a try.
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's literally like Nobu with worse music is kind of the vibe, and a little more clubby.
Okay. I mean, I like clubby style restaurants. Those do need to come back.
Clubby. I love clubby style restaurants. All right, how long gone?
What if they were good? What if they were good?
Well, then they wouldn't work. How long gone? We are doing our show in New York City, Webster Hall, November 23rd. There are some tickets left. Go get those. HowLongGone.com. Los Angeles, the El Rey Theater, December the 6th. There's some tickets for that available as well. HowLongGone.com. Our friend Robbie Hoffman's going to be opening again, which we love because she makes you guys very uncomfortable. And I think that's
So lucky to have her.
so lucky to have her. We're figuring out the guest stuff. We'll announce that soon. But we thank you guys for listening as always. And them jeans, thank you for podcasting with me.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
I think that's it. Everyone have a great week. Don't drink too much on Tuesday. It's a lose list.